Hey, it's Kithran, and this is Dwarf Fortress. You may have heard of the game. I'd certainly heard of it. It's been around for a long, long time, but with ASCII graphics, bit like that classic net hack. All you see on screen, like the water, the farm plots, etc., were all represented by just characters from the ASCII character set. So you'd get little A's and B's and all that sort of thing. Some capitalised, some not. It all mean different things, which would be, well, not the clearest thing in the world to get your head around. But a few weeks ago, Dwarf Fortress Premium came out, which is what you are seeing with, well, basically sort of graphics and mouse control. You see, we got the mouse cursor there, zipping around. I've been playing it for a bit, and as you see, I'm doing, I think, reasonably well. I've got a whole bunch of dwarfs here. Most of them are happy, apart from three who are a bit unhappy. I've got a whole load of resources, etc. And this video is a few very little sort of cheesy tips that I've picked up that will help you. Now, the first tip is something that concerns stockpiles. You're probably familiar with stockpiles like this. This one is for seeds because it's right next to my farm plot. And you'll find if you build stockpiles like this, yes, you'll have things like the seed bags which obviously reduce the amount of space you need in your stockpile, and you can get bins and barrels and all that. But you still end up with stuff like stone that can't go into a barrel or a bin or whatever. So each stone takes up one square in your stockpile. It means you end up needing, in theory, massive stockpiles for stuff like stone and wood. Well, that's where quantum stockpiles come in. And this is a quantum stockpile here. As you see, it's got lots and lots and lots and lots of stone in. There's another one here, which has got lots and lots and lots of blocks in. And I'm going to show you how to make a quantum stockpile, because really, it's quite easy. So down here, I've got my little jewellery workshop. And I've got a quantum stockpile already set up here for wood, right next to a carpenter's one. So I'm going to do a similar one here for cut gems. So the cut gems can come in, and yeah, they're readily available to any dwarf walking in the jeweler's workshop. So, what is a quantum stockpile? Well, a quantum stockpile takes advantage of the fact that if an item ends up in a square because it's fallen there or whatever, you can have multiple in the one square. There are a few other cases that can do it. For example, if you're building a workshop and there's rocks in the way that aren't being used in that building, they can be moved and end up on top of each other in the same square. But that's not something you can rely on. But if things are dropped from sort of from above or kicked there by a minecart, well, then they can all pile on top of each other, and a dwarf can still access them. And that's what we're going to use to make our quantum stockpile. Now, the first thing you need is, if you go to place structures, constructions, and track stop, because as you see, there's a little cart here, and the cart and the two stockpiles are the key to making this work. So what you need to do is leave this on its default and set the auto dump direction to the left, because we're wanting our actual quantum stockpile to be here on the left. Leave all that the same, and we will build it from diorite blocks because I've got a load of them. And then we'll just start time to let that actually get built. And sooner or later a dwarf will go and grab a diorite block from the stockpile and wander over here and build it. There he is. He's just going. And he's built it. Right, okay, we can pause again now. So we've now got a track stop there, just on that one square. Normally, if you're playing about with minecarts, you'd have far longer things, but for quantum stockpiles, cheese like this, you want the minimum sort of space. Now, you go to your stockpile and add a new stockpile and put it there. We'll just leave it for the moment, and you do the same the other side. accept. Right, so we've got our stockpiles, but we need to actually do some customization on this. Now, this particular one we said is going to be for gems, and this is going to be where gems come in. So I'm going to call it, click on there, gems in. Also, I want to go in here and change the maximum number of bins to 0 because that's just going to cause issues. I don't really use bins with quantum stockpiles. Yes, it can cause issues with stuff. If you've got 20 odd gems to move, you need 20 odd dwarfs to each come and pick up one and move it and what have you, but I can live with it for the benefits of the reduced space. So that's this one set up. Now the other stockpile, the one here, I'm going to call that gems. We're going to change the number of bins to 0, just like so. At the moment it's exactly the same, but the difference is we want to untick this. So that's the two stockpiles set up. But at the moment it's still not going to work because you need to go down here and set up a hauling route. As you see, I've got a number set up. There's one for stone, one for bars, a general one, and a wood one. So I'm going to click on add a new route. And first of all, I'm just going to call it gems. Then you click on the add a stop to this route. Then you click on the trap stop we built. And it puts in stop 1. As you see with all of these, you only need one stop for this. Then you click on the cart, and you can say what items are desired by this minecart. Now we want to click down on gems and click all here. If you were to click all on the right hand one, it just selects all the rough gems without any of the others. But we want all gems, so we select gems and then go for the middle, which is all the different types of gems at that class. That's it. So that's set. You don't get the initial sort of menu you do with the stockpile there. You have to do it that way. It's the only way. Next, we need to link a stockpile to this stop. And there's 3 options here. It's which stockpile the track stops vehicle will give items to. We're not worried about that. Which it will take from, and which both ways. And all we're interested is which stockpile it takes from. And that is the one that we've called gems in. Finally, we need to set the logic, or the conditions. There's 3 options you've got here: push, kick, or ride. What we want to do is kick, and because we're going from this track stop here on the right to the one on the left, we want to click on this arrow till it's going to the left, and you repeat that for all of these. So that's all the logic set up. Still one more thing to do. Once you've done all that, you click on there and you assign a minecart to it. Now we hit play. Now the first thing that needs to happen is someone needs to go and grab a minecart from storage and put it on there, which they've just done. And now someone will be able to grab a gem from there, or from elsewhere. I see someone has put a gem on there, and it's now been picked up, put into the minecart when there was a gem in that storage, and it's dropped in there. And that will basically continue to happen until all my gems end up in there. Or would do in theory. In practice it's not, because this is also set up as a general storage. And if we were to look at it, we'll see. Oops. Let's get this right. Click on one of those. These are set up as general storages, and you see they actually take gems in as well. So what will actually probably happen is gems will keep being picked up from here, going to there, and back again. Which, yeah. but I could always go into here, adjust the settings for these storage and this minecart so that gems aren't wanted in there anymore. But I'm not going to do that. Now, that's the first of the tips. The second tip is called infinite metal, basically. What does this rely on? Well, it relies on the fact that certain items, when you melt the item down, you get more back. So, if I come to this Magnum Forge, you see there's a whole bunch of steel axe blades here that have been made. I'll go to my stocks, scroll down to trap components. You see we've got all of these 7 are selected, and I've clicked on the melt status. So these 7 axe blades are all set up to be melted. And if you look at my work orders, I've got a melt a metal object. Now the thing is, if we look at my steel bars, at the moment I've got 9. I'm not making anything with steel anymore. We just basically want time to advance a little bit. Right, so yeah, we're now down to 6 of these being melted. If I look in stocks, and goes to bars, steel, we've now got 9 bars. And that's what I mean by infinite metal. Giant axe blades, which are trap components, are something that's very good to use for this, because basically you get 50% more metal back than you use to make it. So it takes 1 bar to make one, and you get 1.5 bars back. Which means if you don't have to worry about fuel, and as you see here, there's magma. These are magma forges. These forges are effectively have infinite fuel because they're powered by the magma underneath them. And the this forge here, I've got it set up to be used. Well, he's now a weaponsmith, but he was just a peasant. I'll get it set up by someone who doesn't have a very high weaponsmith skill, and I give a work order. I type in steel, I select forge giant steel axe blade. And this work order is only carried out in this shop, which means it's only being carried out by this dwarf. And let's just pause that. I'll show you, just click on, initially they're in this state. I'll just go to the bottom of the list and I'll look for someone. I'll go for this wax worker. Put the wax worker in. Because the thing is, the one gotcha with this, I don't know if you spotted this, is if I look in the trap components, there's only these bottom 3 are set for melting, because this is a masterwork giant steel axe blade. So if I had it open for anyone could use that forge, and I just had it, and it ended up using my better, higher skilled weaponsmiths, I'd end up with more masterwork ones. Dwarves get annoyed if you melt down masterwork items. So as a result, you actually want to minimise. It's about the only time you want to minimise the number of masterwork items you're making, and you do that by using the lower skilled dwarves. This one here is basically, I've sent it up to my trade depot, ready for the next time a trader comes in, I'll just trade it out. It gets me about 600 odd coins value, so it's worth doing. But basically, because I'm very short on fluxstone, this is giving me infinite steel. By this magma forge making me giant steel axe blades, and these other ones doing the melt a metal object, then melting it back down, it's giving me excess excess steel, which means in this other one, I'm making all sorts of steel items. I'm basically making all the gear so I can have another squad of 5 dwarves, and these are going to be mace dwarves, as you can guess, because, well, their mace is there. But that is the infinite metal exploit. You can do it with any metal. It's only really metal it works with. I think the ultimate increase is coins. If you could make coins and you could split them down into single coin stacks and melt those, that's about the best return. But I just find the axe blades are nice and simple. It gives you enough. I don't have to faff around and try and work out how to split stacks or anything like that. And that gives you, sort of infinite metal, basically. You need some to start with, because you need to be able to make the initial sort of 2 or 3 axe blades or whatever you're using, just to be able to kick-start the process. If you don't have those, you run out. But there you go. That's how you can get infinite metal. And I think with that, I'm going to say farewell. And remember the motto of Dwarf Fortress: losing is fun. But sometimes beating the game can be fun as well. And with that, I'll say goodbye. Get for now.